All right. All right. I'm just waiting for the thing to come up, and there it is. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody tonight? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Wow. But I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I am feeling much, much better. I definitely have been catching up on sleep, and so that makes things much, much nicer that way. So I've been trying to get organized, getting things cleaned up and outside, getting tools put away and all that good fun stuff. Not a bad day here today. I mean, this morning we had a lot of rain this morning, but after that, not bad at all. So really, really pleased with making some progress, cleaning up in here a little bit. Got a little bit more cleaning up to do in here, but that happens. There's always something else to do. There's never a lack of things to do. So that's it keeps things interesting. That is for sure. All right. So before we get started, I would just like to remind everybody that we are a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask everybody to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. All right. So, uh, anyhow, all right. I know it's just, I have to laugh. I'm just like, I don't remember mentioning that it was winter yet. I know it's not winter yet. Winter is actually not until what, the 20th of December is the official start of winter. I don't know. Oh, really quickly, I did want to mention thank you for all the advice. I got a ton of people, basically, from Brian to Roy to a whole bunch of other people had mentioned I can just unscrew the panels because it's adjustable and slide them up. The front ones slide them down. So the back ones all slide up. The front ones all slide down. So I absolutely will do that. So thank you guys for. See, that's what I love. That's why I love YouTube because it's like the technical stuff. It's just not there. Okay, that's not me. Never has been me. So getting people, making suggestions and stuff like that, I love that, and that's how we do things together. And I think that that's awesome. So I want to again thank everybody for that advice, and I definitely will be adjusting those panels. I'll probably do that tomorrow because it's going to make a big difference of what kind of power we bring in. It's just the time of year too. So, but again, you can figure out. Diane, I plan on start skirting the RV tomorrow. That's the game plan for tomorrow. I have actually one other thing that I have to do in the morning, and I'll tell you guys that in a little bit. But it is, I definitely am going to start working on that. That's going to be a tomorrow project. So I'm going to adjust the panels, and then I'll start working on skirting the camper because it's got to get done. I got to get it done. It's like one of those things that I definitely am not going to put off until it's sub-zero out there freezing. So but no, but like I said, I really the advice that people give a lot of times is awesome and it's very much appreciated. So I just wanted to say thank you once again for that. We all, guys, I'll tell you what, we have our areas of expertise and other people are better with other things. And so it works out really, really well that way. And so, that's what we got to do. We got to, help each other. And that's, where I may be. So basically, here's the thing: you get hurt, you have an injury, and you're on. I'm your guy. I mean, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna do that type of stuff. Blood and guts don't make me queasy. Never has. Doesn't bother me at all. And so, all that type of stuff is just, that's everyday, okay, no big deal type of stuff. Where some people can't do it. They can't do it. So, to each, everybody has strengths and everybody has weaknesses. And mechanically inclined, I can be the first to say I am not. And I don't have a problem with I'm always willing to learn. And again, and that's the best way, the absolute best way with any situation is hands on. Getting hands on, getting your hands dirty. figuring out what works, what doesn't work. It's better to do it now. And again, I'm going to reiterate that. You can have all the supplies in the world, you have all the bells and whistles and all the tools and all that, and that's great. But unless you find out and you tweak things and work with it and find out, okay, this works, that doesn't work, and those type of things, you don't know. You just don't know. So that is, that's something that people need to think about. So, um, but I got to tell you, I was talking to my daughter. So we'll get into topic here in just a minute, I promise. But I was just talking to my daughter, and I had gone out to check in the battery room. Well, it's like 76 degrees right now in the battery room because of that big light bulb. It's just kicking off a lot of juice. And I said to Heather, I said, "Man, I'll tell you what." I said, "I'll set up a cot. I'll sleep in the battery room if I have to." I would. If it was that cold out and I had to, I would absolutely sleep in the battery room. Wouldn't bother me one bit. So I was just laughing about that. So, all right. So let's get in. Is a railroad strike coming? If they don't get their stuff together and get some kind of deal and get those railroad workers taken care of, absolutely, I think that there's going to be a strike. If they can, if they can figure out and it's really nothing to figure out realistically. Let's be honest. It's pure, unadulterated greed by the people that own the railroads. Let's see. One of them is, I think his name is Warren Buffett, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a big stake in the railroads, right? So, I, take care of your workers. Give them sick time. That's what they want. They want sick time. Take care of it. Do what you got to do. Take care of your people. I don't get not taking care of people. I really truly do not get that. So that's that bothers me. Really, really does. So, all right. You have right now. There was a fire in China, and I guess people are quite up in arms about this because a bunch of people died in a tower fire because of all the restrictions that were being put on people. And actually, Steve and I were talking about this today. And I said there was thousands of people in Shanghai out there protesting. And what I said to him, I said, you're dealing with a communist country. They don't care. They don't care. There's no human rights. You don't have any kind of rights, period. And what basically is going to happen? Those people are going to get arrested. They're going to get sent to work camps, and they're going to be done. And everybody else will either cow down and do as they're told, or or if enough people, again, and here's the weird thing, guys. These type of systems, all right, the Chinese government, right, the United States government, the Parliament in the UK, any government around the world is only going to be as effective as the people allow it to be. So it's really, really simple. If enough people stand up and say, yeah, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. Uh, the COVID rules and resulting protests are creating fears of an economic hit for China that will be greater than expected. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that. And Chinese citizens have had enough of the lockdowns. I'm telling you what, it's just, you know, it is amazing to me that if the reality is this, if you go along and just, I'm going along to get along, I don't want to make trouble, I don't want to make any waves, nothing's ever going to change. Nothing's ever going to change, right? And but if you stand up and say, yeah, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm trying to think how the best way to say this. I better not even touch the subject. I was going to say something about an event that happened recently that scared the pants off of people because a bunch of people stood up and said something isn't right here. We don't like it. No matter what was put out there by the propaganda machine, there was a bunch of people that did not like what had happened, and so they were protesting, which was their right to protest. Something else happened with that, and they vilified these people. And the way that you get groups to basically shut down dismantled. You basically, number one, you infiltrate those groups, right? There's a lot of groups out there that have bad intentions for the United States of America. It's a fact. It's not a that's not a oh no, they're just this or just that. There's a lot of groups out there from all walks of life that have bad intentions for the United States of America. And so if you don't think that every one of those groups has some government official infiltrated into that group or working for the government or working as a snitch or whatever the case may be, they're out there and they're absolutely working for the government, trying to figure out, what's going on, what's the agenda, what's the plan, or they're trying to influence what the agenda, what the plan is to get those people in trouble. That's how you dismantle those groups. I mean, it's a fact. It happens over and over and over again. We've seen it in the news. FBI informant in this group. They're going. There was that group. I think they might have been in Michigan, and I'm not 100% sure where they were at. And they had their militia group, right? They had this militia group, and so this guy infiltrated into the group and started saying, "Hey, let's go full auto on our rifles." And the group initially was like, "No, no, 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 no." And then eventually they went, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that." And then what happens? The FBI comes in. It's federal charges because you're not supposed to have full auto. You have to have special permits to have full auto, and it's very, very rare that those are issued, and it's usually by dealers for gun shows and stuff like that, or you go to the shooting range and those type of things. So it's not like everybody can just go out and get one of those things. So that's how you jam up a group, because if they're all in jail, you've just broken up the group, and there you go. So these things happen all the time. And so again, you know it's just BLM, white nationals, and all this other stuff. And here's something interesting. I'm gonna talk about this one for a second, because I thought this is like a trip to me. Okay, this is absolutely a trip. So you saw in the news. We're gonna talk about this real quick. You saw in the news that Trump had dinner with this white national guy uh, at Mar-a-Lago, right? We all saw that in the news. You heard the whole thing. But the interesting part is he was a guest, this white national guy was a guest of who? Kanye West, a black dude. So this black dude invites, hey, Mr. White National dude, come with me. We're going to go over to Trump's place. Now, did Trump know or did Trump not know? I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to say yes, he knew, or no, he did not know. I would think if you are a public figure and high profile public figure, you would definitely be checking out who's coming to your home. That's just me. Maybe he didn't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not going to say yes, he knew. I'm not going to say no, he didn't know. But at the end of the day, a black dude invited this supposed white national. I guess he is. He's like anti-Semitic and everything else, and so they invited him, and he came and had dinner at Trump's place, and stuff like that. But boy, the press, whoo, they ran with that one, didn't they? They love to run with those ones. But it's just, these are things that are done. You want to discredit people. You want to get people, out of the. I'm going to give a great example, and this is strictly opinion only. Okay, opinion only. David Koresh. Who remembers David Koresh? Okay, thought he was Jesus Christ. Took over the Branch Davidians down in Waco, Texas. Anybody remember that little event that happened down there? Right. Okay. So what happened with that situation? You had, they got attacked by the ATF. They defended themselves, right? Because if somebody's attacking your home, I think you have the right to defend yourself. I'm not saying the way the situation went down on either side was right. I'm not justifying anything that was done at all in any way, shape, or form. Okay. But what did they do? They did a propaganda media attack on David Koresh. When you have a group of people, and there was a lot of people that were involved with that, right? And well, here's the other part that I want to remind you of. David Koresh, like most human beings, was very routine oriented, very routine oriented, and he went for a run every day with a couple of his guys, right? So if you think, okay, here's the leader, of this group and we think there's this stuff going on and we're going to do a raid of this compound, wouldn't you snatch up the leader while he's out with two other guys? Overwhelming force, you got him, boom, he's captured, and now you cut the head off the lion, the rest of the lion doesn't work so well. So, but nope, that's not what they did. They had to roll up there, do what they did, had to shoot out. People got killed, unfortunately. And then we had the standoff and the, psychological stuff and everything else. And at the end of the day, supposedly, and I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm not saying it's not what happened. Supposedly, the Branch Davidians, after waiting for what was it, over 100 days or whatever it was, I can't remember exactly what the number of days was, they decided to burn themselves alive. Does that make any sense? Right? Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't ever believe we got the full story of what happened. All right. The government got embarrassed. We know that for sure. But what did they do? What did they do? All of a sudden, oh, David Koresh was sleeping with all the women in the compound. David Koresh was molesting all these children. Now, as a parent, all right, and I don't care what group I'm involved with or who the leader of that group is, if some dude is trying to bang everybody's wife, if some dude is molesting the kids, I'm gone. Okay. So that whole thing to discredit him, to make him look bad, that was all part of what was done. Winning the public opinion. All right. Doesn't have to be true. Doesn't have to be true. But winning the public's opinion of a situation is very, very important. You look at any event that's happened, and I'm going to give you another event that happened, right? Let's talk about this one. This is an event that happened that everybody knows about, brought us into World War II when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, right? Well, after that happened, boy, we came together as a country. We rose up, we did what we had to do, and we got involved in that war. And that was the end of that, right? Remember that? There had to be something that happened that had to draw us into that conflict because we had stayed out of it up to a certain point. We didn't get involved into it with it until later. Now we were helping out the British and stuff like that, but there had to be something happened to draw us into that conflict. That's what Pearl Harbor was, and that and as the guy in Japan said later on, I think the only thing we did was wake up a sleeping giant, and that's exactly what they did because Americans were pretty resilient. We don't take no crap, and if we get behind something, we are full bore, right? And that's what happens. So you always have to win the public opinion. So things are going to be spun in a certain way to make sure that we are the good guys. We're always the good guys. Remember that. The United States, we're always the good guys, right? You think that's true? You think that's true that we're always the good guys? It's not. It's definitely not. So, that's what people don't understand. I got to see if Heather's gotten back to me yet. She was going to, not yet. Okay. Let me just give her another real quick message because I talked to her, but maybe. So, anyway, so you have this situation over in China right now. And if enough people stand up and say, I'm not taking this crap anymore, they're going to have to change their ways. I don't care if they're a communist place or not. If you have enough people that say, no more, things are going to change. Ed, what do you think will make us get involved in World War III? Terrence, there would have to be, again, there would have to be some event, a sneak attack or an attack on something with America that would galvanize the people and get people lined up to say, yes, I'm getting behind this and I'm going to get involved. And that's what it would take, Terrence. It would be some kind of an event that would bring America together as a country to stand behind and say, we're not taking this crap and we're going to do something about it. Does 9/11 come to mind? Does 9/11 come to mind for anybody, right? What happened after that, right? We came together and they said, here's the bad guys. Let's go get them. And that's what we did. And people got on board and they jumped on and rah, 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 right? So think about that. It don't take much. We're simple creatures. like anybody else, any country around the world, we're very easy to manipulate. And the people that are in charge, are very good at manipulating people. So, but yeah, it's quite interesting, quite interesting. But okay, so you got that situation over there. So here's another. I wanted to bring this up because I just thought that this was fascinating. Remember when we, the United States of America, decided, because we decide, we make the calls, guys. Remember that, we may have our allies and all that type of stuff, but at the end of the day, who's making the call, right? You think Canada is up there going, United States, this is what you need to do, and you need to do this right now. You think the United States is going to go, oh, Canada, you're right. We're going to do exactly what you say. No, Canada does what we say. The UK does pretty much what we say. They get on board, you know, because we're the biggest bully on the block. And that's no disrespect to Canada, and that's no disrespect to the UK. I'm just using those as examples. We make the call, right? So we came to a decision that Venezuela's bad, very, very bad. So we're going to put in these sanctions, and we're going to crush this country, and we're going to make all the difference in the world, right? So we put all these sanctions in, and I want somebody to tell me um, when we put the sanctions against Venezuela, because I didn't have time to look it up. I was going to ahead of time and I forgot. But we put and I don't believe Trump didn't put those sanctions in against Venezuela. It was actually before that, I believe. So it might have been Obama. I think I'm not 100% sure, but it's been a while. So it actually might have even been Bush that did it. So we've had these sanctions against Venezuela for a long, long time, right? So we did that. We basically destroyed that country. I mean, things were really, really bad in Venezuela. I mean, everybody knows the different things. They've read the different things about that. Um, what about the country that went into riot mode because they beat Belgium in a soccer game? Oh yeah, that type of stuff is crazy too. I think Bush. Yeah, I believe it was Bush myself. But if somebody could look that up real quick and in the chat, let me know. But anyway, so we had decided 2006, was it 2006? Okay, so it's a while. I mean, so that would have been under Bush then, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Hey, Pam in Wonderland. Speaking around the topic of U.S. military in the U.S., is it an all-time low for enlistments? So that's a huge problem. Oh, I absolutely agree, Pam. Thank you very much for the statement. So she's saying that enlistments in the U.S. military is at an all-time low. So thank you very much for the donation, and thank you very much as well. 2006 was Bush era. Okay, cool. All right. Yep. Okay. I thought it was Bush. I was had the conversation with Steve, and he says, "No, I think it was Trump." And I'm like, "No, it wasn't Trump. It was definitely before Trump." Okay, so that has been in place for a long time, and we wouldn't let them ship out their oil, wouldn't let them do all these type of things. Well, now we went to Saudi Arabia on our knees begging them to up production to get the oil prices down, and they basically said screw you, right? So now we go to the table with Venezuela, and we decide, okay, you know what, you're not so bad after all now because we need your oil. And now, lo and behold, Chevron is going to be able to go in and do drilling in Venezuela. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing how that works? Okay, you suck and you're horrible and you're bad and we don't like your government. But, geez, well, we need your oil, so we'll work with you now. Amazing to me. Amazing to me. While we've done everything, I'm sure, behind the scenes to undermine that government, to try to get that government overthrown, right? I'm sure well, of course, America wouldn't do that, right? Why would they do that? Interesting stuff, guys, man. You really, really got to pay attention. You really got to pay attention. And I'm not saying, oh my God, Biden sucks because he's doing this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we made I thought Chevron was actually owned by the president of Venezuela anyway. Oh my God, that's too funny. Um, What I'm saying is, if this country was so horrible that we've had sanctions against them since 2006, that's a long time. That's a long time, right? And then all of a sudden now, well, we'll work with you now because it's to our benefit. I just I really don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, um, it's just, who are we realistically? Who are we? And I say we, I mean the United States of America, to basically determine who is good, who is bad, because they either go along with what we want or they don't. And that's what it comes down to. And again, it's that same type of situation. It's that same type of situation with society. If society goes along with the program, the government will continue to take a little more, take a little more. We're going to take a little more. We're going to raise this price of this. We're going to raise this price of that. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to raise taxes. We're going to continue to do this, right? This happens all the time until the Yellow Vest movement comes along in France and they say, you know what? No, screw you. We're not putting up with this crap. And what happened? What happened over there? You guys remember what happened as a direct result? They got rid of that thing that they were doing to people over there. And, if you get enough people that say it ain't happening no more, right? It's all realistically up to us. Every American, every Canadian, everybody in the UK, everybody in Australia, everybody in China, everybody in Germany, everybody in India, everybody in Pakistan. If people said no more, things will change, period. Because if they don't, those in charge will lose control. There's already been, look at the Arab Spring that was going on, right? The other part that I found interesting, really, really interesting with everything, okay? 2 years ago, you look at what was going on all around the world. And I've talked about this before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. So, 2 years ago, before the big pandemic, all around the world, a lot of people, didn't matter what country, but a lot of people had been like, I have had enough. France, the Arab Spring situation, Hong Kong, the United States, even here, there was protests going on like crazy all over the place. Some of us might remember that. I do, right? Apparently, certain prosecutors out there don't remember that, right? But I remember that. And you had all these things going on over in the UK, wherever. It didn't matter. Whatever, Germany, there was protest. Wherever it was around the world, there was a lot of people all at once saying, I have had enough. And what happened right after that? Oh my God, we have this terrible pandemic. We have to lock everybody down. And people just got in line and said, yep, I'll do whatever you say, because they said all the right things. Said all the right things. And I find it interesting that a lot of things that were written off as conspiracy theory, false information, or whatever, that was, like even on here, on YouTube and any other social media network, if you said certain things, you were a conspiracy theorist, you were giving out false information. But I found it very, very interesting that a lot of the things that were said down the road, same government that said, nope, this is the way it is, changed their tune. And now those people that were saying these things, they were right all along and a lot of things, and not everything. And I'm not saying everything, but in a lot of things, they were right all along. Was there an apology? Was there strikes removed? Was there lost income made up for these people that said that? Nope. Nope. Because again, if you, yeah, allegedly, right, Billy the Kid Norwood, exactly. But I find that fascinating that if you questioned the narrative, then you were in the wrong. How dare you? How dare you question the narrative? You know? And it's amazing to me how many people just said, Yeah, okay. And I got to tell you this. I got to mention this one too because I did talk about this before. So when the whole thing started in China, if we remember, let's go. We're going to go back and do a little history lesson. The whole thing starts in China. How it was released is still up for debate. I'm not going to say what I believe it was because I'm not going to be accused of spreading false information. But I pretty much know where I stand on that. I've talked about that in the past. So you had this situation happen. Did and supposedly or allegedly, all these people were dropping like flies over there, right? But the government over there was saying, nope, that's not true. It's not happening like that. Blah blah blah. Did the governments around the world immediately shut down things immediately? Right? If you feared this horrible, terrible thing is out there, why won't you close your borders? Why won't you shut it down? Why would you stop international air travel? And I love the excuse, and I heard this is one of the things I heard. Well, there was Americans over there and they had to come home. No, they didn't. They didn't have to do anything. If there's this horrible, terrible thing over there that's going on, why are you letting these people come here and bringing it here? Does that make any kind of sense, right? Unless the agenda was for it to be everywhere. So when it first started happening, I was walking around and I'm pumping gas with gloves on. I had a mask on when nobody had a mask on, right? Because I was like, holy crap, I was very concerned. And I put it out here on YouTube. So later on, when I felt that the truth wasn't being given, in my opinion, you know, that there may have been some discrepancies. I stopped all that and I talked about that then. And then, like I said, it got to a point where like I would go to Walmart and I would be like the only one that didn't have a mask on because everybody else just did what they were told. And then, you get the looks like, oh my God, you're this horrible, terrible person. No, I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. So, at first, when they're showing guys, when they're showing videos of somebody standing in the street in China and then they're just dropping. That's concerning. That should be concerning. If something was that bad, you really should be concerned. So, it's just the whole situation. It was what it was. Whatever happened, happened. We all know how it all went down. But I remember this. I remember this when Trump finally stopped international travel. What did Pelosi say? And I'm not trying to make this a Republican or Democratic thing, okay? But what did Pelosi say? Oh, no, go out down to Chinatown in San Francisco and celebrate the Chinese New Year, right? Remember she said that? Everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about. I remember those things. And then all of a sudden, now they're wearing one mask and then they got two masks and, in the whole 9 yards and how everything went. And if you questioned if you said, "Well, wait a minute, here, you're like, okay, so here's mine, right? I got a Kleenex. Here's mine. I walk into the store like this with it wide open underneath and the whole 9 yards, right? And then if I can't breathe so well, so now I'm going to do this and all this type of stuff, right? Boy, was I protected, right? Realistically, come on. I mean, so when you questioned that and you said, well, wait a minute, how effective is this or how effective is that? Being in the medical field, I got a pretty good idea how effective certain things are. And you know, um, when you have certain things happen, you can look at it and go, you know what, that's not adding up, right? Higher degree mask N95 or better, definitely much more effective. But if I have a handkerchief on my face, right, or whatever I make with a smiley face or whatever I put on there, that's not going to be as effective. It's just not. That's not what they're made for. And when you have small particles that can go through a mask, that's also an issue. Now, I'm not saying, right? Oh, I still see people wearing masks too. I see it every day. If I go out, I will run into somebody still wearing a mask, and that's their choice. I don't even say anything. I don't even say anything because it's not worth the waste of energy. It's really not. So, I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. So let me put that out there clear. What I'm saying is when you know information and if you share that information and then you're told you're a liar, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist and all those type of things, you know, it never changes. And you know what? You can only there's a I don't there's an old saying, guys. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And that's a reality because certain people are going to be hook, line, and sinker with whatever they're told by people that are supposedly in charge. They're going to eat it up. They're going to do exactly what they're told every single time. And, that's okay. That's their choice. That's what the government wants. They want people just smart enough to run the machines, but not smart enough to question anything that they're being told. And I'm a big believer. I'm a big believer in doing your homework, looking at a situation, making a educated decision based on the information that's there. And I think that's important. Terrence Parker Jr. says, I see many people still wearing masks alone in their car. Well, that's so helpful. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. But yeah, I love that one too. My favorite one, actually, almost my favorite from that one drives me crazy. But the other one, it really bothers me, is when I see a kid on a bicycle by themselves riding down a road with one on. That really bothers me. And so, hey, it is what it is. Supposedly, allegedly, everything is beautiful now. Everybody can go do what they want to do. It's amazing how, even though the viruses are still out there, now we don't have to do all these things anymore. Isn't it interesting how that works? I find these things interesting. So that's just me. Like I said, no judgment. Do what you got to do. Take care of yourselves. Make your own choices. But I have a tendency to think for myself, and I'm going to question everything, and I'm going to do my research. And when I realize that it's not adding up, I will share what I think. I have to be very careful with how I do it, obviously. um, you know but here's the thing that I would say. All right, here's me. Never once got anything like this, right? Not one time. I've been sick. I'm coming off of being sick right now. Also, I was sick last year, November of last year. So two Thanksgivings in a row, actually. And the one last year was bad. I was really, really sick last year. This year, I was just kind of like a malaise, really tired, runny nose, just a cold or the flu, whatever's going around. And, but I'm not dead, and I'm not going to be, right? Because I have this weird thing called an immune system. It's amazing how that thing works. Uh, so, you know, So if you want to live in fear, I'm gonna tell you right now, life is way, way too short to live in fear. Way too short to live in fear. All right, I think Heather's texted me, so let me look. All right, cool. All right, I got the answer because it's almost time for that, so I want to make sure I have the right answer. But what you got to understand, guys, and this is there's always a trail, and at the end of the day, and I believe this to be a fact, it's called follow the money. Who benefits from whatever situation that is happening, be it oil, be it war, be it whatever the case may be, right? Who benefits? And then you follow the money and you see who's making, rolling it up. I want you to think about and really think about this a second because I'm going to tell you. So here's a question I'm going to have for you guys. Here's a question that I'm going to have for you, and I'm pretty sure what I already know what the answer is going to be. I want to know how many of you in your neighborhoods, in your towns, know of a business or know somebody personally that lost their business, never to open up again because of what happened over the last 2 years when certain things were shut down. How many of you, yes or no, know of a business in your neighborhood or your town or whatever that shut down, never to open up again because of what happened? So, yes or no in the comments, please. I'm not seeing one no. There's not one no. Every answer from you guys is a yes. And so I want you to think about this. Oh no, now also now but somebody's going to put no. Okay. Well, there's a lot of businesses that are gone. A lot of restaurants that are gone that are never going to be open up again. Never again. Going to be gone forever. They're closed. People lost their livelihoods. That's what keeps an economy booming. Small business keeps an economy booming. Now, who benefited? Who benefited? What companies stayed open during the entire thing, right? During the entire situation, what companies stayed open and had booming businesses, right? We got Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon was cranking, big chain grocery stores, right? The big box stores made a fortune on this whole thing, made a complete fortune. While everybody else, I mean, you were not even allowed to go to the gym. Heaven forbid that you would go there and try to be healthy, right? It's insanity to me. It's absolute insanity to me. And people just seem to forget about that. They just seem to forget about it. Well, it happens. But there's a lot of people that lost their livelihoods. So, yeah, no church was shut down, right? Well, they tried to do that. Didn't they do that up in Canada? I think, they tried to stop people from, or even in here in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. There were certain, they said that churches, they couldn't gather on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. But so out of everybody on there from the comments, I saw two people that said no, they didn't know of any business. I find that hard to believe unless you live all by yourself somewhere where there's nobody around. A lot of small mom and pop stores are gone. A lot of restaurants gone. They look at New York City, the number of restaurants that are just gone now, not there no more because of the situation, because of the restrictions. I got a buddy of mine that owns a restaurant. Okay, I'll give you an example. Hey, Karen, greatest transfer of wealth in the history of our country from the middle class to the elites. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Thank you very much for the donation, and thank you very much for the you know statement as well. Well, liquor stores didn't close either. Isn't that interesting? So you could go home, you're locked in, so you go home, you stop at the liquor store, you get all hammered up, and go home and beat on the wife and kids. That went up, right? Domestic violence went through the roof. But my buddy had this restaurant, and this is just an example. And so they had to shut down at first. So but here's the thing: what you got to understand, if you own a business, the taxes don't go away on that business because if you're forced to shut down for a small period of time. And then when they were finally allowed to open back up again, so now maybe they could have a third of the people in the restaurant as opposed to a full house because they had to keep certain distances. Like that made a big freaking difference. Well, we put up this plastic wall between the dividing so people can be safe. Insanity, insanity, right? A lot of businesses, guys, and in his case, they lost a lot of money. They got through it strictly on the thing because they didn't have huge debt and they had saved a lot of money, but it was tough for them. But they made it through, and their business is doing good again now. They're doing really really well, which I'm happy for him. But yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And but and then you could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot, you could go to Walmart, you could go to any of the grocery chains, Kroger's, Wegmans, Piggly Wiggly, what Surefine, wherever, whatever grocery store you have in your area. Bell's. I think Bell's is out totally out of business now, but whatever one's out there, you could go to any of those type of things. But you know, a lot of people got really psychologically damaged with this thing. Somebody had mentioned that suicides were way up. Yeah, Piggly Wiggly. Yep. Um, but yeah, suicides were way up. Domestic violence was way up. Abuse on kids was way up. The isolation of not being able to be around their friends and all those stuff. Those are things that just don't go away. Those are things that are lasting things. I know people personally, you know, that isolated in their house and hid and were scared to death. And I'm like, I'm not stopping my life. As you guys know, where did I go? I was out to Sturgis. I went to Sturgis. That was last year during this whole thing, and we did our thing out there, and we had a great time. You know, I was still gonna live my life, and I'm not gonna put my life on hold because I'm told that I need to be afraid of something. Uh, you know, and even though I'm older, I'm in good health, so I'm not a compromised person. Compromised people every year, because of the flu, they're going to be in that situation. They're going to be at risk. Flu season's here now. We're in the start of flu season, so more people that are compromised, they're at a greater risk. It's always been the case. It's always been the case. So, all right. Anyway, we're just rolling on here, and the freaking time's going crazy. I can't believe how fast the time's going. What did I do? Gotta look for something here real quick. Where did I put it? I'll have to look. But anyway, where did I put my notebook? I got it here somewhere. All right, so let's do this really quick. Let's do egg count time. So yes or no for thick neck, and how many eggs you guys think today? So we'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses. And I gotta find out where I stuck my. I'm still looking here too, so don't worry. I already got the right answer, but you guys keep guessing. I'm gonna find out where I put this thing. Oh, I know where it is. I think. Is that it? No, that's not it. Hold on, Hella. Hold on, Hella. Come on. Seriously? I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost my mind. Hold on a second. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know what I did with it. Okay. If you had, I know, see, I got the right guess early, so I could walk away and everybody else can guess, which is fine. But I'm trying to figure out what I did with this stupid thing. And I thought I had it over here. I have to look again in a second. But anyway, if you had the same exact guess is Daniel Fortier with one egg and no thick neck, he thinks he's lost his mind. No, I probably lost it a long time ago, Janet. So if you had the same guess as Daniel, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations, Daniel. You've won absolutely nothing. God, I know I got to have this. It's got to be like right here, someplace, because it was right here. What did I do with it? Thing? Don't you hate that? All right, guys, give me just 1 second. I got to find this because this is going to drive me nuts otherwise. It's got to be in the bedroom. Ah, it was. All right. All right. It was in the bedroom. I found it. Crappy, dirty, old notebook. Sat out in the rain for 10 days. Well, my mind, Sharon. My mind is what I lost a long time ago. I was like, it has to be in the bedroom. I think it's in the bedroom. Oh my god. So yes, my book, so I can do shout outs at the top of the hour here. So, but yes, my mind has been gone for a long time as well, so that's okay. Let me just get to the right spot. There we are. All right. So when we're ready, we're ready. All right. Ay, ay, ay. Like I said, I've been cleaning a little bit more. I'm trying to be better because what happens, unfortunately, being a single guy, the clutter kind of just takes over sometimes. And then all of a sudden I go, holy crap, I got to clean up. So, well, it's just me. Who am I impressing, right? I don't care, but yeah, I just, then trying to find a place for everything. Got to have this stuff here, got to have that stuff there. But oh, okay. So what's going on with the kittens? I'm not going to be getting the kittens. All right. Long story. Basically, there has been some decisions made, and right now was not a good time to get those guys. And so that's just when you had. Here's my problem. When you have a litter of six or no seven, a litter of seven, and only two are left, I don't want to get a cat that might have some big time problems. And I think what I'll probably do is, wait to the spring. We got to get through this winter. We got to get through this winter, and then probably in the spring is when I'll look at maybe getting a kitten. So I really didn't. I would rather have a litter that every cat was healthy and they were good, and then go, okay, yeah, I want this one or this one, that type of. I'd like two, at least two for down here, but yeah, but when you have five of the seven die, I'm like, but I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that. Number one, and like I said, it's you know I have a lot that I got to do here, so I'm not always right here. So if I'm out and about, I don't want to have little kittens and have it get real cold for them and that type of stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know. So that's but so that's why I decided to take a pass on them. So that's that was kind of like when I was up there this time. I was thinking about it and I'm like, this is just not, it's not a good time right now to do it. So on top of that, so it was a combination of a couple of different things. So that is oh, I'm sure if I want to pick up a kitten somewhere, there's got to be a shelter someplace, you know, that I could go in and basically make a choice and say, yeah, I'll take this one and that one. And that's just better situation to do that. And then generally, when you go to a shelter, a lot of times they have them fixed for you already, and that would be great. And then you pay the adoption fee, and you got a couple cats, and they're not out there, you know, making a whole ton more kittens. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point in time. So we'll down the road there'll be time to get more cats, and I definitely want cats. So for here, you know, but that's how we got Max, and that's how we got Miss Socks. We got them from Lollipop Farm, which is a big place up in New York, where a lot of people will get rid of animals if they don't want them, and they'll take them there, and those type of things. So, but I eventually I want to have chickens down here as well. I mean, there's a lot that I want to have, but it's got to be at the point where I'm not, traveling back and forth to New York a lot, and so that's there's still stuff up there that I want to bring down here, but there's a lot of things that got to be done down here before I can even do that. So, there's a lot going on. And so I have to get things squared away before I start worrying about more animals. I mean, Hella, you know, she's, she goes with me wherever I go. So that's not a big deal. But anyway, but no, I honestly, I'll tell you what, I'm more of a cat person than I am a dog person. So, you know what? I'm not bringing any of the other cats down because, and I'll tell you why. We've been at the property in New York for 9 years, and before that, I was in Greece, New York for 8. So, like Max, when we moved from Greece, he was like a year old, and Greece, New York, not Greece, the country. We when we moved from Greece, New York, down to the property up in the other property in New York, he like lost it. I mean, he flipped out. I mean, flipped out bad, and so it was very traumatic for him. And so, hey, Hunter guy, Ed, a plane crashed into power lines in Maryland and took out most of the power. I was having a party and had to plug my secret backup power supply. I stick out so bad right now. I need blackout curtains for SHTF. Yeah, that's definitely something that is a smart thing to be doing is getting the blackout curtains. Yeah, you don't want to be that one guy, that beacon of light in the darkness, because people are going to be drawn to you. Sorry to hear that's happened to you, Hunter guy. Thank you so much for that information, and thank you very much for the donation as well. So here's another thing. I was telling you this, guy. So I was talking to Greg today, my neighbor behind me, and while we were talking, he was telling me right now their power's out. He had to turn on his generator up there, and Kurt, my neighbor next door, his power was out too. So I don't know what the power outage was for what reason, but there was another power outage out up there. But guess who had power up there? Becky and Heather had power. So there's a reason. There was also recently up there, there was a tractor trailer truck down at the bottom of the hill, like, once you come off the mountain up there, that had hit a power line and took out all the power on the whole mountain. And they were without power for a while then as well, but not Becky and Heather. So, that's one of the reasons why I think that having that solar system is so important. And like I said, tweaking it and working with it and figuring out what works. And yeah, right now, we can go get gas and run a backup generator, and that's all great. But again, like somebody had mentioned in the comments to me, and I addressed this in today's video. They said, well, what happens with your solar system when SHTF happens and you can't get any more gas? Well, what's going to happen with my solar system? First of all, I'm going to adjust the panels out here, like everybody said. So that's going to happen tomorrow. The second thing is that I will be putting in at some point, hopefully next year, another rack of panels. So I'll add another, at least three more panels to the system, which will help us more in the wintertime. So that's how you adjust that. You increase your. I could add. Right now, I have six 360-watt solar panels. My system is designed that I could handle that again. So I could add six more 360-watt panels. The charge controller inverter that I have is big enough to be able to handle that. And so if I do that, if I double my output and adjust the panels like I need to, we're going to be good. And I think just adjusting the panels alone is going to make a difference now. So that's we're definitely having issues because of that. I mean, and even with that today, they still were charging up the batteries. So but that's it's guys, it's living and learning. Last winter I stayed in New York, right? I didn't have the solar system set up down here yet. I had the camper here. I got the camper here last November. But that's how you figure stuff out. What works, what doesn't work. That's how you got to do it. You got to live it. That's how you learn. So, like when you have power outages wherever you are, and you have to go into your backup supplies, like Hunter Guy, right? So now he just found out some really, really good information. He stands out like a sore thumb because he has power and everybody around him doesn't. So blackout curtains. It's simple things like that that you go, okay, this is the disaster that happens. You find out what your strengths are, you find out what your weaknesses are, you find out what you need to do to adjust to make your situation better without drawing undue attention to yourself. You don't want to do that either. You definitely don't want to do that. So, um, you know, luckily for me here where I'm at, if it is spring, summer, or fall and the leaves are on the trees, nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. They couldn't even tell I'm here. But now wintertime, obviously, I can see the road, I can see the neighbor's house, well across the valley and stuff like that. Yeah, generator noise too. It definitely will make a difference. You got to realize what you need to do. Wind is kicking up. Um, what you need to do for your situation. You got to figure those things out, and that's important. That's really, really important. So, those are all lessons. Are really good lessons because when it's not SHTF and it's just a minor inconvenience for a week, 10 days, whatever the case may be, you find out really quickly where your weak points are, and you think you're good, but that's how you find out. And it's just trial and error. It's what it always comes down to. It's always trial and error. And I think with going and living off grid, which now this is my ninth year doing, it is it is absolutely a learning curve. And I've showed you guys I make a ton of mistakes. I am not perfect. I don't even claim to be perfect. I underestimated here, again, but I didn't know what I would be looking to do for wintertime for power and stuff like that. How much I needed. Did I have enough? Am I going to bring in enough and all those type of things? So, EcoFlow is also having a sale. They're a great product, Okie Forge. Highly, highly recommend them because you get the charge controller inverter all in one. And again, I would say they're selling EcoFlow on TV and internet. Yeah, it's a good product. It's an absolutely good product. So, and I recommend again, 48-volt system. If you're going to do it once. Pay once, cry once. Because if you go, well, I'm going to start out with a 12-volt system, um, you're going to end up down the road. You're going to go from the 12 to the 24, and then eventually you're going to go to the 48. So you might as well go to the 48 right from the get go and do it the right way. And that's what I did here. And it's been awesome. I'm not gonna there's no denying it's this summer. I mean, April until November, zero issues. You know, and so that's how you figure things out. And so now you have to. Jeff, no, not yet. I have the one. All I got to do. So right now I have the one generator that I'm using. The other generator starts with no problem, but it's laggy, logy. And what I'm going to do with that one, uh, I'm going to have Ronnie look at it when he comes down because I went through and I troubleshot some different stuff, and we're going to see if we can get that one figured out. The third generator that I have, all I got to do with that one is a pull cord. I just got to change out the pull cord, and so that's. Oh, we got to do shout outs. Look at JJ's already. Okay, JJ, stop being pushy. But yeah, I just got to have like I said, just a couple things, and I will. I think having a few generators, like I said, is not a bad thing. So, all right, we'll start out with as JJ has on here, Icky Can. He's got his link up there for you guys. If you would like to check him out, please do so. He's a really, really good guy, and I would ask you to give him some support. You have Angry Prepper, which is Jason down in New York City. Jason is an awesome dude, so definitely give him some support as well. You have Alaska Prepper with Rudy, another really good guy. Definitely check out his channel. There's Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Two different channels, same guy. Great information up in Canada. Definitely check him out. North Shore Preparedness, also up in Canada. There is Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen. There's 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Bizarrizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, and he has a lot of good information there. So definitely check out his series that he does. It's a lot of fun. You have Marfugal News out on the West Coast in Seattle with Dax and Adam. So definitely check them out. Good guys out there. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Cody with Wranglestar. So another really good channel. A lot of good information with him as well. So definitely check him out. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team. They split their time between Michigan and also up in Alaska. So two different channels, but really good information on their channels. You have Green Greg's. There is Southern Prepper 1. Gray Man Prepping. St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy, another really good channel. A lot of good information on their channel as well. And Doug looks like an Amish dude, but he's not Amish. So you have the nomadic movement down in Panama, nice young couple down there. You have the Green Dream Project out in Arizona, so definitely check them out. They're got a lot of really neat stuff that they're doing out there. You have Camping with Steve Wallace. Just a fun thing to watch, stealth camping, and really good guy, very, very down to earth. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader, another really good channel. And, she's been through a lot herself, but really good information on her stuff as well. You have Boss of the Swamp. He's been around for a long time. I like him as well. And so I've been watching him for a long time. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. A lot of great information with Diamond. He's going to go into the whole Grand Solar Minimum and all those other things as well. So really good information there. So definitely check him out as well. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist, Bushcraft Bear over in the Canary Islands in La Palma. Another really good channel. When the earthquake was, or the volcano was going over there, he was doing twice a day updates. A lot of good stuff with that. Okay. Um, let's see. We have Mary Greeley News, and she's giving you all the updates with the volcanic activity and earthquakes that are going on. So good information there. Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you want to get your weather, you should only get your weather from one guy, and that's Ryan Hall, y'all. Definitely highly recommend Ryan Hall. Love his channel. A lot of good information, and he gives a lot back to the community, which is a really nice thing. So let's see. There is Russell Brand. And I just saw a thing today, guys. Okay, and I'm going to put this out here because I thought it was really, really neat. And it was a video, and it was like the highest, YouTubers ranked. And Russell Brand was actually up there. He's worth like 80 million bucks because of YouTube. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I love Russell Brand strictly for the fact that he makes you think, and I think that that's important. That you need to think. And but yeah, it was really, really good stuff. He gives you the information and he lets you make the decision on it. He doesn't take this side or that side, and that's pretty cool. Let's see, where was I? You have get back to where I was. Okay, Deep South Homestead, The Outsider, The Fit Farmer. There's Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed, Townsend's, The Prepared Mind out in California. You have Pinball Preparedness in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have the Economic Ninja, and then Little House Off Gritty, and they are located in Tennessee as well. There's a lot of good channels, and I'm sure there's another bunch of other channels out there. I definitely think we should be supporting each other. I think it's important that we do so, and that's a good thing. So definitely let's continue to do so. All right. But anyway, that's all I got for that today. I'm not going to do Heather's. She asked me not to for a while because she's really just kind of focusing on actually working for a living now, and she doesn't want to do all the other stuff. So, that's her call. But she's doing very well at her job. So, got to support her. Whatever decision she makes, I support her 100%. And so that I do the best that I can that way. So, but thinking gets you in trouble. Yeah, right, right. That you're not supposed to think for yourself. You're going to be told what to think, Winter Homestead. You're going to be told what to think. All right, and that's going to be it. There's no debate. So, oh my God, that's too funny. Like I said, guys, I'm going to continue again to always continue to get ready, continue to prep, figure out what works, what doesn't work. Use those experiences where there's power outages and those type of things to find out what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. I think that's important that we do that as well because it really does make a big, big difference. It really, really does. What do we got? 309 in chat. I don't think I've even asked for one thumbs up today yet. So we're at 225. So, guys, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, let's do so to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate that. It really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you hate me, throw the thumbs down there. And thank you so much for doing so. But too funny. But anyway, it really does make a difference. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So thank you for all those reasons. But yeah, just keep getting ready. Do what you can to put yourself in a better situation. I don't want you guys to be victims. I want you to be the people that can be in a position to help others, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need a lot of help. That's a fact. That is a fact. So the better situation that we are in puts us in a better position to do what we need to do. But all right, what are we at here time wise? All right, we can do this right now. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? So let's do that. I don't have time to be a victim, Randy Romines. We have New Mexico's in the house, Central Kentucky, Waterloo, New York, Massachusetts, Nowhere, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Central Missouri, Somerset, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Western New York, East Tennessee, Colorado, Texas, South Florida, Valley of the Sun, Arizona, East Central Illinois, Florida, Ulster Park, New York. We have Franklin County, Ohio, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada with Joyce is in the house, Littleton, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina with Terrence, Verone, BC, Canada with Gypsy Mama Prepper, Fort Worth, Texas, Salvisa, Kentucky, Chloe, West Virginia, Betty, glad to have you here, Charlotte County, Florida, Nebraska's in the house, Dallas, Texas, North Carolina, Central Michigan, Union City, Pennsylvania with Richard, glad to have you here. Hello, longtime watcher from the Bay of Islands, Newfoundland, Canada. Well, thank you very much. Glad to have you here. Washington, D.C. Jamila's in the house again. Good to have you here, honey. Good to see you. Southwest Virginia with D. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Clyde, make sure you tell the wife I said hello. Glad to have you guys here. Ulster Park, New York with Francine. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Dust Devil in Texas. We got Blue Ridge Mountains, Virginia. So we got Salem, Oregon is in the house. Ma Bear out there. Nova Scotia, Canada. Our Life Off Grid. Winston-Salem, North Carolina with Karen. Troutman, North Carolina. Huntington, West Virginia with Beth in the house. Glad to have you here. So again, guys, we're always, I mean, it is amazing to me where there's preppers everywhere. We have Southern Indiana. We're all over the place. And we're a huge network. We really, truly are. And we can make a difference now. We got North Georgia with Kevin in the house. Central Iowa, Robert, glad to have you here. We can make a difference now, and after an event, we can make an even bigger impact. Glen Falls, New York with Debbie's in the house. Robert with Central Iowa. I think I already did that one. Did we do that? Yeah, same thing. Okay, Robert, you got mentioned twice. How about that? So, but yeah, after an event, we can make an impact. We can really be able to help people, and I think that that's important, and we try to do so. So, coast to coast and beyond. Absolutely, John. You are 100% correct. We are all over the place. We are a huge, huge network of people. We can make a huge difference in people's lives, especially after an event. Some people are saying buffering. If you're getting buffering, sign out and then sign back in. I'm not seeing any issues here on my end. So if you're having issues on your end, sign out and then sign back in. That's the easiest way to try to do that. Karen said, I just signed out and signed back in and it resolved. There you go. Yep. If you're having those buffering issues, sign out and sign back in. That's all you got to do. Columbus, Ohio, with black sheep in the house. Very nice. Periodically, it buffered through the show. It's pretty windy here right now, so that might be part of the problem. But I'm not seeing anything on my end. So, you know, because normally if I start to buffer, it'll do the little circle thing, and then I know that I'm screwed up there. So, but yeah, I'm not seeing any issues there from that part. But anyway, guys, again, we're in a position where we can make our lives and our family's life much, much better. And again, the problem what we have is a lot of people don't believe in what we're doing, and that's okay. They don't have to believe. When the time comes, they're going to be very, very grateful that you decided to prep, that you decided to make a decision to do something to be proactive, and that's what it makes all the difference in the world. It really, really, truly does. So, but Ma Bear, again, sign out and sign back in if you're having issues. Okay, sign out and sign back in. That's the best way to do it. So just if you're not a victim, you're going to be in a better position. If you're not reliant on somebody else to to take care of you, it puts that stress off of you, and you can be self sufficient, and that's what we're looking for. Uh, you know, Hard to believe you only got one egg today in New York. It's been happening a lot. It's been happening a lot up there. The most we've had recently was 4 eggs. That's the most that we had up there recently. So, and I got 2 deer this season. I'm blessed. Fresh meat. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. Yeah, if you're hunting to put food in the freezer to feed your family, that's great. And I more power to you. Absolutely. I think that that's a really good thing. So, all right, guys. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Really does mean a lot to me. I appreciate their effort being here for stream after stream and being part of this. Thank you, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that do that for me. It really means a lot. I want to thank all you guys for being here because obviously, without you guys here watching, then I'm not here. So, I do enjoy these chats. I will get off the rails. I never stay on topic. That's a fact. I try. I think we had a pretty good chat tonight. We really didn't go off the rails. We were talking about a lot of different things, and I think it's an important things to discuss, and we should be talking about them. And I think that that's important. We need to think, and we need to do our research, and we need to make decisions based off of those things. And I think that that's really, really important. Don't believe every piece of information that you're given because it's not always the truth. That we've been proven too over and over and over again. So, anyway, remember, guys, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We got to stop letting them divide us. It's another tool that they use. They use race as a tool. That's one's used all the time. It's crazy how they want to keep us fighting, just because we're different colors, which is nonsense. They use religion. This religion's bad. Our religion's good. All that kind of stuff. And so, you know, you just it's just things that are just always going to be there, and that's what happens. But we can make a decision to not let it happen. The political crap, Republican, Democrat, doesn't make any difference either at the end of the day. It really, really, truly doesn't. So fighting with somebody because they have a different viewpoint than you, what happened to respecting other people's views and agreeing to disagree? Steve and I agree to disagree on a lot of issues. We've been friends a long, long time. We can have a discussion, and sometimes we just go, "Oh, okay, we got to stop that conversation." I mean, and that's what we do because there's no reason for it. Also, guys, remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. And Ed, the trailer doesn't stay warm enough. No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying it was a lot warmer in the battery room. That's all. Without having to run the propane. That's all I was saying. But anyway, tell the people that you care about every day how you feel because that's really important as well. Last but not least, guys, STD. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, it does not have to be prepping related. It does not have to be off grid related. It can be whatever goal that you have set that you want to accomplish in life. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving that goal is you. That's it. Nobody else. If you stay positive and stay away from the negativity, you're going to be just fine. All right. Set realistic goals. Like, I'm never going to be president of the United States. Don't want to be president of the United States. So that's not a goal that I have. You set a realistic goal, you make that happen, you cross it off the list, and then you set the next goal and you work on the next thing. And that's how you get things done. And I think that that's really, really good. Okay. So, all right. Anyway, guys, be safe. Take care of each other. Keep prepping. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Oh, real quick, I will be live streaming for Hardcore Preppers tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's part of the membership. So if you want to become a member, a hardcore member, go to my main page, click on the join button. You will see 3 levels of membership. If you become a hardcore prepper, you can join us. I do that private chat for my hardcore preppers every Monday at 8 o'clock. So definitely, if you would like to be a part of that, more than happy to have you. All right. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. JJ, you want to get rid of them before we leave too? We got thank you very much. All right, guys, I'll see you.